I know
he
I
just
will
got
beat.
knocked out, right?
Yeah. He doesn't have a chin, and he has no skill, and he's stiff. And I love you, Anthony. We're friends. But I want to fight you. I will beat Canelo. I will beat a lot of
now. But I pray that he comes out healthy. But I think Jake Paul because of youth.
After Jake Paul's public call-out of Anthony Joshua, there's now a huge mix to the story after the pair met and had a very heated back and forth between them. Are we about having a Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua fight soon? Remember the last time Jake Paul fought? He fought within the required weight for the heavyweight division, which means a fight between him and Anthony Joshua makes a lot of sense. The brawl happened after they had a heated clash that was planned to an extent by Jake Paul. Before Jake Paul made his public call-out, he was aware he was going to meet Anthony Joshua in a few days at the airport. So the problem child decided to incite reactions ahead of their meeting by calling Anthony Joshua out. Well, they met and Jake Paul began firing verbal jabs at him, insulting him, especially with his loss against Dubois. In fact, he came with a paper that showed when Joshua was hit by Dubois in the fight, making his face very disfigured and distorted. At the end, Joshua tried to react, giving Jake Paul the heat he had been looking for, but as he moved close, many people got in between them to prevent any violence. Jake Paul has disclosed that defeating former heavyweight world champion Anthony Joshua will be an easy task for him if he accepts his challenge. Joshua last fought for the International Boxing Federation title 6 months ago, being knocked out by Daniel Dubois for his 4th professional defeat. Paul, meanwhile, is coming off a unanimous decision victory over the legendary Mike Tyson last November, a former world champion like Joshua, albeit now 23 years his senior. However, he has called out plenty of fighters since then, including Canelo, Conor McGregor, and Floyd Mayweather. Joshua is now seemingly another name to add to that list. "I want to fight Anthony Joshua," Paul said during episode 64 of his BS podcast, "and I know that I will freaking beat Anthony Joshua's head. He doesn't have a chin, has no skill, and he's stiff. I love you, Anthony. We're friends, all this stuff, but I want to fight you." Polarizing American boxer, YouTuber, and social media influencer Jake Paul has shared a heartwarming moment with his fans. The proposal, captured in a breathtaking photograph, unfolded against the dramatic backdrop of St. Lucia's iconic Piton Mountains. The picture shows Paul down on one knee, surrounded by a romantic setup of white flowers, rose petals, and candles, as Leardam stands in a flowing white outfit, visibly emotional with a hand to her face. The engagement comes on the heels of Paul's bold declaration of his next career move in the boxing world. This engagement adds a new chapter to Paul's publicized romantic history as he captioned the post, "Engaged to my baby best friend." According to his latest podcast, Paul recently hinted at a potential 2026 fight with British heavyweight boxer Anthony Joshua. Joshua, a former unified world heavyweight champion with a record of 28-4, would present a significant challenge for Paul, who has primarily faced former MMA fighters and non-traditional boxers in his career.
Retired. Got you.
However, any fight between the two looks quite unrealistic right now. Joshua has been absent from the ring since suffering a brutal knockout to Daniel Dubois at Wembley in September. His return to action has been thwarted by injury problems, with Eddie Hearn revealing that his marquee heavyweight talent will need 8 weeks to recover from a minor setback in training. Joshua's super fight prospects have also vastly diminished since last competing, with Tyson Fury announcing his retirement and Dubois targeting an undisputed world title fight against Alexander Usyk, which puts a rematch for the International Boxing Federation world title on hold.
Get some.
Absolutely. Very, very last one. Who wins? Jake Paul or Anthony Joshua?
Jake Paul.
Right.
No, I'm kidding. No, don't cut me off on that. No.
I won't do that to you.
I think it might happen weirdly.
Weirdly, I was starting to think this yesterday. I mean,
But Warren, who promotes Fury and Dubois, has eased fears that Joshua will be left in the wilderness. "We're making these fights happen," he told Sky Sports. "All I know is whatever they advise Joshua, the majority of the heavyweights are with us. That door's been taken off the hinges, just walk straight in and we'll make it. I understand something was going on with an injury. For him, there's no rush. He's there and he'll decide in his own time what he wants to do. I'm sure his team will support him wholeheartedly, whatever his decision is."
35 calls at 7 o'clock yesterday morning. I thought it was that.
I listened to Jake Paul's clip, him talking about it, and all this stuff that comes out of Jake Paul's mouth, no one's surprised about it. He was that, regardless of what people think, that situation with Canelo was at some point a real situation there.
No, I thought it, as soon as I went to Mike Tyson, Jake Paul, as soon as that had happened, I was saying to people, I had...
Queensberry Promotions, headed by Warren, boasts a number of prominent heavyweight contenders that could well prove the superstars of tomorrow, such as WBO interim champion Joseph Parker and WBC interim champion Ajit Kabayel. With Usyk suggesting he could retire after his next 2 fights, Joshua could end up being pitted against one of Warren's heavy hitters down the line. But at 35, Joshua has been touted himself to follow Fury into retirement, which would spell the end of a historic era in British heavyweight boxing. While choosing not to offer his recommendation on whether Joshua should hang up the gloves, Warren says the Brit has nothing left to prove. That's his choice about retirement, Warren added.
You know them. I had Lewis Hart, Oscar Bevis, other people. I was talking to them around a table one day, and I was saying, "It'll be Canelo next. Watch, it will be Canelo next." He's pressing the flesh, because Anthony Joshua's not to be impolite to him, scratching his head metaphorically.
He's been a great servant for British boxing, 2-time world champion, filling venues up, was on the crest of a wave for a long time, and in fact looked on the crest of a wave until he fought Daniel. He had 3 good wins under his belt. In his last fight, Joshua showed heart, balls, and determination, but he never got untracked after a disastrous start.
Going, could I play the game with that or not? I mean, the truth is, Anthony Joshua is far too big, far too powerful, far too young for Jake Paul. He's going to smash him. He's going to knock him the F out. But what a build-up that would be.
Right, we're going to leave it on there.
We're not going to take questions, but you want to say a few words?
Firstly, always brought me ahead high. We took a shot at success and we came short, unfortunately. We rolled the dice, man, for the 3rd time. 30 more title fights. Not everyone's been successful, but everyone's been fun and entertaining. We're trying to create history for British boxing, and I think we're doing that. And also I appreciate all the press, media, the fans out there, but I thank them for you guys. I'm sure you guys will let them know we appreciate it.
In front of an electrified crowd before tens of thousands of fans, Dubois, the title holder, accepted the uncustomary role of the challenger walking first, something that happened earlier in the night when Hamza Shiraz came out to halt Tyler Denny. Dubois landed the first good right hand of the fight, and he stepped in behind his brutally hard jab from the start. Joshua thumped in a right hand over the top with a minute left in the session. Dubois looked out of the ring after taking a crunching right uppercut, and before lashing Joshua with a big right hand that dropped the former Olympic champion. Joshua tried to look composed, but Dubois stormed forward, clipped Joshua with a big right, and then hammered away with both hands. Wembley fell into stunned silence. Joshua looked heavy-legged, and he was forced to hold on. Dubois thudded AJ's head back with a jab, and Dubois, the man who so often has had his temperament questioned, looked buoyed, confident, and in charge.
Yes, and probably you're asking, do I still want to continue fighting? Of course I want to continue fighting.
Yeah.
That's what I said is, we took a shot at success and we came up short. And what does that mean now? We're going to run away. We're going to live to fight another day. And that's what I'm a warrior. And also, before I finish, we have to give credit to our opponent. Even though when I sign up to fight opponents, I don't really like him.
The jab was a key. Dubois was able to time Joshua and out-jab him when they threw at the same time. Near the end of the second, Dubois took a shot as he got a little overconfident. But again, Dubois stormed out of the blocks in the third. Jab, double jab. Dubois shot out long shots. And he landed a lead right too. Joshua attempted to get some life back into his legs. He looked for the right uppercut, a blow that all but did for Vladimir Klitschko on a similarly heady night at Wembley in 2017. On that night too, Joshua had been deposited onto the canvas, but this time the conclusion was so different. At the end of the session, Dubois lashed forward. He swung meaty shots and Joshua began to unravel. His jittery legs caused him to lurch backward into the ropes, and Dubois poured on his assault. Joshua back to the ropes, covered up, but Dubois kept going. Sensing his moment, he crashed in shots with both hands, and Joshua succumbed once more. He actually touched down with a glove, triggering the timekeeper's count, but referee Marcus McDonnell allowed the bout to continue, told his fellow official to stop, and Dubois was merciless.
But now it's done. I take my hat off to him and say well done to his team. And also thank you to my team as well for the way they prepared me. There was a few mistakes in there, that's the name of the game. Fine margins can cost you at the top level. So thank you.
Joshua had not recovered by the time the fourth started. He was down almost from the first shots Dubois threw, and when Joshua then slipped to the canvas, many thought the fight was all over. But Joshua made it back to his feet. There, he groggily grappled his way through the fight, clinging to his chance to become a 3-time heavyweight champion by his fingernails. Joshua was huge on courage and guts. He stubbornly accepted a nonchalant expression, but was in dire straits, wearing huge shots. Somehow, he survived that tumultuous fourth. He had been down in the first, second, and fourth rounds. Freaking warrior spirit, said AJ's coach Ben Davison in between rounds.
And just goes to war, basically with no legs, and finds a way back into the fight, and then walks onto one. So it's heavyweight boxing, and that's the dangers of this fight. We said before, you know, Frank was talking about Hagler Hearns. I mean, you know, it takes a lot of beating that kind of fight, but it was a thriller. And, you know, we just felt that maybe the tide was about to change, but you have to give them credit. I'm going to pass the mic to AJ. I've explained you wanted to come and do this. I told you not to, but you always do it. We're not going to take...
100%, replied Joshua. Start mixing it up, urged Davison. Joshua looked sharp, comparatively, at the start of the fifth, and he uncorked a huge right hand that wobbled Dubois to his boots. He cracked Dubois with a couple more, too. And as Joshua got greedy, Dubois crunched an attacking Joshua with a devastating right hand of his own and then slayed him with another right, the type of destructive finishing blow that will sit happily in the annals of time and on highlight reels alongside those devastating blows launched from the fists of Jack Johnson, Joe Louis, Rocky Marciano, George Foreman, and Mike Tyson. Joshua pitched face first, Marcus McDonnell counted him out, and the crowd rose as one in shock and awe at the violence they had witnessed. Unbelievable. It turned into a heavyweight shootout for the ages. 27-year-old Dubois, who had boxed just 90 rounds in the pros and had lost to Joe Joyce and Usyk, shook up Anthony Joshua. On the other hand, Paul's last fight was a huge one, although it earned him no credit after defeating Mike Tyson by unanimous decision. The much-anticipated fight between Mike Tyson and Jake Paul turned out to be a humiliating exhibition by the 58-year-old boxing legend. After 8 rounds, Jake Paul was declared the winner by unanimous decision, with a wide margin on the judges' scorecards. The loss to Jake Paul marked the 7th defeat in Mike Tyson's career. Jake Paul, a 27-year-old social media huckster, beat a 58-year-old man with a long history of health problems, both physical and mental, in a boxing ring late on Friday night.
I heard Logan say use the jab more. Do you want to see him use the jab more?
Of course, it's the most important punch in boxing. And you got a guy that's slow, sitting there stagnant, use that jab, break him down.
Thanks, good luck.
And there is, you know what, I do have to say, it is 16 more punches than any other 58-year-old has landed in boxing.
You better believe it.
Good bodies.
Mike Tyson wanting to see more action. He just landed the overhead. The first round, he's Jake Paul, 12 of 53, 23%. Tyson coming out aggressively.
They keep messing with that mouthpiece.
Oh, that hook. Triple important task all referees do, but Mike Tyson taking.
Paul, look down and come over with the overhand right. You better believe it.
And there is, you know what?
Jake Paul.
The fact that Mike Tyson was defeated so comprehensively on points was meant to give Paul a semblance of authenticity in the unforgiving business of boxing, but it didn't mean much in the end. Tyson is the former world champion who, in the mid to late 1980s, spread awe and terror as he tore through the heavyweight ranks. But in the dog days of 2024, Tyson was trying to overcome years of abuse after far too many drugs and far too much drinking, as well as recent troubling issues with a bleeding stomach ulcer and acute sciatica. Paul received the unanimous verdict by 2 scores of 79, 73, and a shutout 80, 72.
Watch for the overhand right here, though.
Yeah.
Here we see Jake Paul throwing a jab hook right hand, followed by a hook. The last hook was cool. Wasn't a real power shot, but it was a good hook.
Been the case. But what is left in Iron Mike Tyson?
The near sold-out crowd at the Atant Stadium in Arlington, Texas, was fiercely partisan in their early support of Tyson. 90 minutes before the ring walks, footage of Paul's arrival was greeted with a muted hum, but we then saw Tyson walking slowly to his locker room. His jacket was emblazoned with his famous old boxing alias, Iron Mike. The huge and sustained roar was strangely moving. Jake Paul and his brother Logan were driven to the ring in a customized Chevy lowrider instead of making the traditional fighter's walk to a stale old Phil Collins track.
Throwing a jab hook right hand, followed by a hook. The last hook was cool. Wasn't a real power shot.
Does he have the one knockout left in his arsenal?
Winner by unanimous decision, Jake Callout.
However, he impressed better with his fight against Perry. Paul looked on course for an early night against Perry, who has made his name as a bare-knuckle boxer, when he set him down in the first round with a wide, cuffing right hand. Perry bounced right back up, however, and tried to swarm Paul in the corner. Paul, however, landed a hook and a right hand before missing with an uppercut at round end. Paul knocked Perry down for a second time in round 2, this one a clean knockdown from a jab to the chest and a straight right hand, but Perry, low on boxing skills but overflowing with toughness, kept stalking forward. Indeed, in the third, Perry began walking Paul down, trying to land leaping left hooks as Paul retreated behind a jab. In the fourth, however, a Paul hook and jab landed perfectly and took Perry's equilibrium, sending him staggering into the ropes.
Mike Perry's left hand, Jake's gonna look to throw the overhand right.
Very noticeable size.
Oh! Told you, man, jab high, jab low, overhand right.
Good body shot again from Paul, and that has effect.
Paul peppered him with jabs, and another jab wobbled him again. A Paul hook caused Perry to stagger once more at the bell. In the fifth, Paul focused on his jab, snapping back the head of a stiff-legged Perry before a sweeping hook and a right hand landed clean. The end came in the sixth, when a Paul hook sent Perry staggering into the ropes. A left hook and follow-up flurry had Perry hurt again, and he fell in the corner for a third knockdown of the night. He clambered to his feet, but the referee waved it off. "Man, he's tough as nails," said Paul, who claimed he had been feeling unwell and had carried a damaged knuckle into the contest. I'm sorry it took so long. I did put him down in the first round, but he survived it. Mike Tyson, you're next. I was trying to roll with the punches and hit your ass back, Perry told Paul.
Affected Perry.
This is that moving target we talked about. It's hard to hit a moving target. He needs
giving as good as he's getting. Whoa!
You did a great job. You were way too fast for me and I couldn't adjust. The convincing and bloody victory clears the way for a fight against Mike Tyson. Paul reaffirmed the fight with Tyson is on for November 15th. And I'm going to get another KO and prove everyone wrong once again, Paul said. Everyone said that it was a mistake taking this fight, that I was an idiot, I was risking it. But that's why I'm here. I take big risks. I put it on the line, and it's anyone, anytime, any place. Prior to the fight against Perry, Paul said a loss would cost him a chance to fight Tyson November 15th in a heavyweight bout to be televised by Netflix. Paul agreed to fight Perry in a cruiserweight bout after Tyson suffered an ulcer flare-up May 26th, prompting the fight with Tyson to be rescheduled.
That got his equilibrium off. The time might be now for Paul to end this. End this.
Rope is a...
Oh, man. Whoa. 1, 2, 3, 4. The referee taking a look at Perry, who's eating. That one caught him good. Paul.
That's the one.
Right hand. This may be it. Right hand. And he's down for a third.
I love to take risks and do big events, Paul said Friday when asked about jeopardizing the Tyson bout by fighting Perry. Mike Tyson called and was concerned about this fight jeopardizing the biggest fight of my career. That's what puts the pressure on me, and I love that. I'm not slowing down for anybody. Mike Perry is not going to be the one to stop me. I'm on a path to a world championship. I'm not slowing down for anybody. And that's all for now. For the very best updates on news, moments, events, and actions in the world of boxing, stay connected with us by subscribing to our YouTube channel, and don't forget to turn on notifications to get notified when we drop quality contents like this. Until next time, peace out.